Muy buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, amantes del rock y del metal. Bienvenidos y bienvenidas a Conexión Rock Radio. Johonny González les saluda en otra interesante video entrevista aquí en nuestros canales y por supuesto les invitamos a que nos dejen su pulgar arriba para que estén disfrutando de entrevistas muy interesantes. Hoy en la casa pues tenemos una banda bastante interesante para los que son amantes del metal gótico, el metal alternativo, una banda que viene ya con un nuevo disco bajo el brazo y nos referimos a los italianos Lacuna Coil y que tengo por acá en micrófonos a mi buen amigo, el invitado de esta tarde, Andrea Ferro, que es el vocalista de la banda. Andrea, thank you very much for your time. Welcome to Connection Rock Radio in this evening here from Honduras, Central America. We talk to you and share with the fans from Lacuna Coil around the world about the upcoming news, nice upcoming news that the band had in 2025. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And thanks for having me, Johnny. I'm really glad to be here. Hola a todos amigos de Honduras.
You can speak, ¿hablas bien español? You can speak well Spanish?
No muy bien, lo hablo un poquito, lo comprendo muy bien, pero lo hablo un poquito porque no lo practico mucho, pero lo hablo muy bien, lo comprendo muy bien.
Okay. It's a nice way to make a kind of interaction with the people here in Latin America. Una buena forma de interactuar con los fans acá en nuestra región.
I mean, every time we come to Latin America, it's amazing. You know, maybe because we're also from a Latin country, and there is that different kind of connection. You know, we know we have common roots, even if we're still far away geographically. I think that the culture has some similarities. So every time we go, obviously, places like Brazil and Argentina, they have a big number of people that are originally from Italy as well, so it's easier to have a lot in common. But also when we played in Mexico or Costa Rica or all those places, we always felt really connected, and we had a very good relationship with the people because we're similar, no? Somos todos latinos.
What are your expectations about the release of this new album that Lacuna Coil will release in February 14 via Century Media Records, and the name is Sleepless Empire? I want to know, my friend, what reactions are you expecting for the fans when listening of the album in physical and digital formats? I want to say congratulations. This is a good album. This is a real nice way to start the year with another great album from Lacuna Coil.
Yeah, I mean, we're very curious to hear the opinions, but we are very positive because so far all the songs we have released, so far they've been doing pretty well, and obviously there's quite a variety of songs. We're gonna release one more song before, actually around the day of the release. And we're actually gonna shoot a video for this song as well next weekend. And yeah, we're very curious and excited because we can't wait also to play the songs live for the people. And we're sure it's gonna be a great time. So, and start the cycle again, a new album after all that happened in the past years. So it's great to be back, and we can't wait for the people to listen and to, you know, have fun with us on the concerts as well.
I must to say to you, the first singles of the album is very awesome. Oxygen, Gravity, Never Down. By the way, your vocals is very good. The people are expecting this is a great album that you will release. About this point of the title of the album, Andrea, have you any special meaning for the title of the album, Sleepless Empire? It's very interesting to see the cover of the album, A School of Birds.
Yeah, it's the skull of a crow, a crow. Sorry, crow. And yeah, when we were looking for a title, we wanted to have a sort of a common theme that could work for all the graphic, all the way we're gonna look on stage, all the scenography, everything together. So when we look for the title, we always try to find something big enough to include all these concepts. And the basic idea was that we're living in a society with a lot of inputs every day. We get a lot of information. We're like 24 hours connected. But in the end of the day, we never sleep, so that's why we're sleepless. but you know, in other words, we were not really enjoying what we have because we have too many inputs every day. So we feel like a lot of time the society, it's always awake, looking for something, but then there's too much. You know, the offer is too much. You're always overwhelmed with information, with pictures, with music, with movies, with TV shows, and so we feel like the people is a bit isolated, which is very weird in a moment where everybody's so connected. And this is also a reflection that came after the time of the COVID, where everybody was at home, and the society moved from the normal real life into a digital world, you know, in a way. You know? So we are old enough that we have experienced the world before the internet and the world after the internet. And sometimes we miss a little bit what was happening before the internet. You know, when you can have, I think we have the right balance because we have lived in both situations. But the new kids, the new people, maybe they don't have the same kind of experience we had. They only grew up already with the phone in their hand, with the video games in their hand, with internet all day, with all the social media. So that was the idea. The generic idea was this huge empire that we're living in with a lot of inputs, a lot of information, a lot of possibilities, but also the fact that people has become way more isolated in their own self, you know.
Yes, it's very interesting. Thank you very much for the details about the title of the album. And perhaps the people had a lot of interpretations towards the title of the album. You know, the technology, the internet, the COVID.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We always like to talk about real life in our lyrics. So we find this generic concept that it's where we start from, and we visualize something like the skull of the bird and stuff like that. And then we go, every song then has its own meaning. You know, it's not only one story, you know, it's many different stories. But the point of view, it starts from this reflection about the society, and then every single song apply in a different way, you know. And we also like to write the lyrics in a way that everybody can still give their own interpretation. You know, everybody, once we put out the song, people take it and use it the way they want it, you know.
And about this new work that you release in a few weeks, Andrea, what comments have you and the rest of the band about the special guests, Ash Costello and Randy Blythe?
Yeah, Randy is a very long time friend. We met for the first time in a Oddsfest 2004, so 20 years ago, almost 21. And we've been friends since forever. So we toured together many times in different situations, festivals. And sometimes Randy, when he's finished a European tour, he come to Milan, in our hometown here in Italy, and we go out, dinner, lunch, or go see a photo exhibition. So we're friends even beyond the music, you know. And we love Lamb of God, we love his voice. And Randy's a big fan of Lacuna Coil as well. So it was the natural collaboration. You just ask him and he immediately say yes, of course. And since we don't do very often put other singers in our songs, because we already have two, we decided that Randy has to be one of the guests. And then Ash Costello, we met her very briefly once, so we didn't really know her really well, but we were looking for another female voice for that part of In the Meantime that has a more distorted voice, not super clean, not operatic. So we wanted somebody that has a more of a rock type of voice. So we asked her, and she immediately was super enthusiastic of doing it. And then we also toured together, and we had the opportunity to play the song live in America, in North America together. So it was she was immediately really happy, and we were very happy about the result. She also brought some arrangement on the vocals that are a bit more Americanized, let's say, and that we probably wouldn't have done because we're not American. And so we're very happy with the collaboration. It was the first time we tried, and we really like the results so far.
Currently, the band, we visit many countries here in Latin America. What does to mean to you and the rest of the guys visit these countries, even our the first time to play here in Honduras?
Yeah, I mean, some places we've been a few times, like Brazil, Chile, Argentina. Those are the usual countries that we always do when we do the South American part of the tour. So those places we know more or less what to expect, but it's always a pleasure because, as I say, we love the culture, we love the warm attitude of the people, the fact that we have a lot in common, and we don't see each other very often. So it's great to be able to start the tour of the new album from those places. Then we go to Colombia, which is a place that we don't do very often. We only played once in Colombia before, many years ago. And so it's a pleasure to finally be able to come back. And Honduras is a very, very first time. So we don't know much about Honduras. Obviously, we know where is it. We've been to Costa Rica, which is not too far away, but obviously it's not the same thing. So we are very curious to discover the country a little bit, even if we only stay maybe a couple of days as usual. You know, we would love to stay longer and be able to enjoy even more, you know. But every time we visit a place for the first time, it's a big party because people want to see us for a long time. We're very excited about the new thing and see new people, new faces, new places. And so it's always great. You know, it's one of the good things about this kind of job is the possibility to visit other people, to discover other culture, other foods, drinks, you know, enjoy life with other people. And that's great.
Yes, from now, here in country, especially in Honduras, we promise you and the rest of the band had you a great time for the fans. I must tell you, the people here in Honduras are looking forward to have a warm welcome, may deliver to you many gifts, and have you and the fans a great time in a few words.
Yeah, I mean, for us, good time is to share our music with the people, because I think the most important thing about being a known band, a famous, whatever you want to say, is the fact that you have established sort of a relationship with the people, a legacy with the people that is going to be beyond yourself. You know, people and our music has connect us, and this kind of connection is stronger than any money you can make, than any record you can sell or whatever, you know, autograph you can sign. The fact that our music has been important in their life is the most important thing. And to go there and be able to exchange in person, you know, there are certain countries that probably we will never be able to go because of politics, because of wars and problems like that. So it's great when we do actually have a possibility to go at least once, you know, maybe more, maybe in the future will be more, but at least once be able to go in person and celebrate the legacy of all these years of listening to our music and enjoying together, you know.
Currently, Daniel Salomon is the guitar player for the band. He's currently support you as a live musician. I don't know, Andrea. I don't know is have you contemplated that Daniel is permanent part of the band, or only Daniel is only works as a live musician?
For the moment, he's not an official member because we want to take some time before we decide. You know, also because he's never done all these world tours and very long time out of your house and staying around the world. So we want to give him some time to try, learn, and see if he likes it, if it's what he really wants to do. Because until you do it, you know, everybody say, I want to be a musician, I want to come with you on tour, blah, blah, blah. But then when it's time to do it and time to leave on the road for 2-3 months, it's a different story. You know, you have to try and see if it's for you. It's not for the life on the road is not for everybody, you know. So it's good to take some time for us, but also for him to understand if it's the right person to work with, to get to know each other better in a more intimate setting like the tour, and living on the tour bus, living on hotels and flying every day. So it's good to don't rush it, you know, and take some time. If he's a good candidate, for sure, and if he's doing as good as he's doing right now, he might be the next guitar player for sure. But at the moment, there's no rush to force it. You know, just try and see if everybody likes each other.
About the history of Lacuna Coil, many people around the world, especially in Latin America, one album, in this case, Comalize, is one of the most popular works in your catalog. What are the huge impact that this work resonate around the world? I remember Heaven is a Line, Swan, Tyrone, The Ghost Woman, and Hunter. The album, the whole album is a kind of masterpiece for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think on the band side, it was a very important record because I think it's the first record where we really sound like Lacuna Coil. Like we sound like our sound reach a point in that album of unicity where you can compare the band to any other band. We were sounding like our own sound, you know. And on the fans is the record that has become more successful, maybe because it's the most mature at the time and the most balanced and well written. And so it's very important for a lot of people because it's the album where they found out about our band. It's also been the very first time we reached that level of popularity, of success. And so a lot of people started to know Lacuna Coil because of Comalize. And that will always have a special place in their heart because obviously it's the first record where you become familiar with the band, you know.
About this point, about the Comalize album, in 2022, you released Comalize in the 20th anniversary, I think. It's a re-recorded.
Yep.
This re-recorded version wants to make justice of the original album, or the band wants to explore something different in a new perspective?
No, we wanted to celebrate the original album, doing something special because we've been offered in the beginning from the label to do a remaster of the original Comalize. But what you do when you remaster a record is basically you make it sound louder. You know, you just take with a modern technology the original master and make it sound louder. That's all you do by remastering an album. So for us, it was more about celebrating the original album. So we decided, why don't we re-record the album in a way that would sound like we sound today, like with the musician that we have today in the band and with the arrangement, the kind of arrangement that we use now. And we just put together the two versions of the record in one physical format and just re-release the album, but with this bonus Comalize XX version, you know. So it was great for us to go back and re-listen to the original recordings and remember how we were doing the certain arrangements, certain parts, and we re-sung everything in the original way, and then we re-sung everything in the new way. So it was a great experience that I think also inspired some of the atmosphere of the new album of Sleepless Empire. Was also a good moment for us because we just came out of the COVID. So instead of doing strictly a new album, we've done Comalize XX, so we could work in the studio again without the pressure of having a complete new album. So it was very useful and a good way to celebrate the original. It's not to say, okay, we don't like the original anymore. It was to say, okay, we celebrate the original by doing this experimental version of Comalize, you know.
With almost 30 years, 3 decades, with 11 albums, what are the secrets that Lacuna Coil deliver many good albums over the years?
I think that we've always been very honest. I think every record of Lacuna Coil sounds a little bit different than the previous one. Not completely different, but a little bit in a different direction. And because we always followed our inspiration, our passion, our taste for new bands, for different bands, different sounds. And that makes it interesting for us. And I think people can relate when you do something that you're honest and you don't try to just redo the same record because it's been successful, and people realize that you are doing something honest, you know. And I think that's the success of other records, is because we always been very honest and never try to repeat ourselves just because it was easier to sell some records, you know. We always been honest and just try to go somewhere else with our music a little bit, not completely, but a little bit. And I think people recognize that. That's why they still follow us in many years.
Currently, you are part of the artist roster for the label Century Media Records in almost 3 decades. What are your thoughts about the support that the label had to the band in over the years?
I mean, yeah, when we started with Century Media, they were a small independent label, relatively small independent label from Germany. And in the years, we've seen all the changes. You know, they have been first, they got distribution from EMI, also because of the success of Comalize and other records. Then they've been switching to Sony. And now since about, I think, maybe 6-7 years, Sony has bought Century Media. So now Century Media is part of Sony. So we've seen all the changes in our career, and we've always been with them. There's been great times and I think they've done a great job when they launch our band. And there's also been bad times where they were struggling with things and we were getting along. But overall, they always left a lot of freedom in creativity. Like we never had anybody coming to us and forcing us to do this direction, that direction, this song, this producer. We always had the freedom to choose, and so we always respect this kind of freedom. And overall, we had a good relationship with them all along the way. So that's why we're still working with them. But as every long relationship, there's always been a moment where you don't get along, a moment when you fight, a moment when you're very on the same page, moments where you're not on the same page. So it's normal, you know, when you have a working relationship for so many years, you see a lot of different times, you know, but overall there has always been respect and freedom to us.
Currently, in these times when the technology is part of the daily life of everybody, what are your thoughts that Lacuna Coil is part or against that the use of the artificial intelligence?
No, I think that AI is a technology, and every technology is neither good or bad. You know, is the way you use it that makes it good or bad. So if you use AI as an extra tool to give you more possibilities, it's fine. If you use it because you're lazy and you want AI to do your job, that's the problem, you know, because it's not capable of doing your job, because every artwork I've seen, every music I've heard from AI is not great. You know, is maybe perfect in a way, but is not great, because art, especially, a lot of time is made by mistakes. You know, when you try to put down an idea and you make some mistakes, and that mistakes leads you to something you haven't planned, something you never consider doing, and it opens different possibilities and different ways and makes it art unique. So if you take away this part of mistakes, you take away a lot of the creativity process, you know. So I think it's important to use AI as a technology that can make your life easier, but not to substitute the creativity, you know. And so, for example, on the artwork of Sleepless Empire, all the artwork has been made by the Italian artist from Naples. So it's handmade, hand draw, and all the merchandise is designed by this guy. Everything is handmade by humans. So we still love to use real people to do stuff. But obviously, it's a technology. So if you use it correctly, it's no problem. If you use it, you want to be smart and use it to make your life simple, then it doesn't work, you know, because it's not that simple. To create something, you need to put the effort.
About the new album, we know that currently are released in digital and CD and vinyl, color vinyl. I don't know, have you contemplated in the future release a kind of special or limited edition in this kind of format?
Yeah, actually we have done. Actually, I can show you. Wait a second.
Okay.
Just a second.
Muy bueno.
I have it here.
Vamos a
Here we go. This is a box set. Sorry, with all our discography in cassette. It's like a limited edition, so there's only certain numbers of this. Sorry, and these are all the cassettes. We only made very few with a label called Alone Records. We only made 300 of these boxes.
Quick question. I don't know if you in this upcoming tour will you bring some merchandising for the fans, t-shirts,
yes,
vinyls.
I think it's going to be mostly merchandise like t-shirts and hoodies and stuff like that. Not really. I don't think we're going to have the vinyls on the tour because we can't carry them all around South America. You know, it's too much.
At the end of this interview, what messages do you want to send or share with the fans in Latin America, especially in Honduras, that are looking forward to see you in the live shows? And again, thank you very much for your time in your house. And we look and the best wishes for you and the rest of Lacuna Coil about the releasing Sleepless Empire, and the best success for you in this new year.
Thank you very much. Sí, a todos los amigos de Honduras, vamos a verlo muy pronto. Están listos para el show de Lacuna Coil, vamos a verlo y estamos mucho caricados. cargado, loaded, like ready. And see you soon. And un beso.
Bueno, damas y caballeros, ustedes han disfrutado de esta entrevista con Andrea Ferro de Lacuna Coil y como siempre les invitamos a todos ustedes a que sean parte de esta gira de Sleepless Empire que va a estar aquí realizándose próximamente. Soy Johonny González, que la pasen muy bien. Estas fueron nuestras entrevistas internacionales en Conexión Rock Radio. Pendientes de la próxima y como siempre les decimos a todos ustedes, el rock y el metal no falten siempre en su dieta diaria. Que la pasen muy bien.